Welcome, welcome. Today I want to talk about abundance. What is abundance? Abundance is having and enjoying everything that you want in your life. Whether that be having abundance in monetary, so having lots of money, whether that be having good health, good relationships, and outpouring of love, self-empowerment, career, and everything in between. Abundance, first and foremost, comes from mindset, followed by inspired action. And we've all read the books and we've all heard the movies and videos and everything like that, all talking about how to get abundance. But a piece that I knew but didn't know was the mindset piece. And I want to talk a little bit more about how to move into that mindset throughout this episode. So let's break down some of the different items when it comes to abundance. Starting off with money, the dirty word, money. When I grew up, the way that I was taught about money was we always had enough, but we never had an excess. And I was very fortunate in the fact that we always had enough. But everything was very carefully budgeted. It was, we have money for school supplies, but you can't get the sparkly binder or whatever. And everything had to be on sale or cheap. And that's the way that I grew up. So going into my adult life, I've always been that way. I make that joke that, I'm frugal. And what I find is with being frugal comes a feeling of lack. And so to further some of my opinions of money, through not just my family, but the people around me, people who had money were fortunate, were lucky. I heard that word a lot, lucky. Were, maybe, oh, he's got way too much money. I remember hearing things like that. And so the idea of money became sort of dirty for me. And I know it is for you. And what I find is that even times when money was something that I needed and it became readily available to me, I felt guilty for accepting it. I felt that I wasn't worthy or enough to accept it. When I found out about the cancer, I decided that I wanted to do naturopathic because my mindset is very much around that healing is mind, body, and spirit. So outside of the medical system, which I'm very grateful for, I needed an element of health in order to come to the other side. And what a blessing that was. And now when I needed that element of health, I needed to pay for it because that is not included in Canada healthcare. And I needed a lot of money. It was going to be thousands of dollars per week, like $1,000 a week or $1,100 a week or something like that. And I was in chemo for 5 months. So I needed a lot of money. And when my cousin decided to open up a GoFundMe for me, which was so kind, there was this outpouring of giving. I received money upon money upon money from people who I knew, people who I didn't know, people who were friends of the family and everything like that, an outpouring of messages and money and gifts. And it was so difficult for me to accept it. And that brought it to the surface to me. It made me realize that although I thought I knew how to get abundance, I didn't know. I didn't truly know it. So I had to get comfortable with that icky feeling. Every single time somebody would donate, I would kind of go, oh, maybe they're being tricked. And in what way were they being tricked? I was very clear. I wanted to become healthy with naturopathic. So they gave me money. But yet there's something in me saying, no, you're not enough for this, Christine. Your reason isn't good enough. And that's health. That's living or dying. And it still was so prominent in my mind that I didn't deserve this. And now for you, I'm sure you can think of an experience where someone gave you money, where you felt that kind of icky feeling, like, oh, why did they give that to me? Or even more so, do I deserve that? And I find that we kind of shrink. We shrink so that we're not too much. We don't make people uncomfortable. And that's where that kind of guilt comes in, that humbleness. Well, we call it humbleness, but there is humbleness, and then there's just shrinking. And I was shrinking in my story. Now, on the other side of everything, in all of my treatments being finished, my remission in my palm of my hand, knowing that I am cancer-free, I'm so grateful to all of the people that donated. They are the reason that I am here, that I am healthy. I know the medical system could have been good for me, but stage 3 breast cancer, stage 1 lung cancer, I think that needed both. That's my belief anyway. I think that is the reason that I am cured. So, going forward, looking at abundance and looking at money and how that might be able to enter my life, what is the purpose of shrinking so that other people are comfortable, or so that you are comfortable with your comfort level around money? What is the purpose of staying small so that you don't offend anybody? And ask yourself that question. Clearly ask yourself that question. Why are you staying so small for the purpose and the comfort of other people? Right? So when it comes to money and abundance and wealth, just think about, the 10 people that you're trying to impress, so that you don't have money because their opinion of money is that it's dirty and that people who have money are bad. So those 10 people that you're trying to impress are the reason that you have not gone after your dreams. What kind of sense does that make? I mean, those people are obviously not expanded people. They obviously have not done the work. Otherwise, they would be happy for you if you had money in abundance, right? So consider the 10 people and consider throwing them out with the bathwater. Because honestly, you deserve money and wealth and abundance, just like I deserved money and wealth and abundance. And I continue to deserve it. Moving on to health. Why is health something that we are not abundant in? My belief is that when we are unwell, the reason that we don't feel that we can have health is because we aren't enough. We're not doing enough. We're not reading enough books. We're not on enough diets. We're not creating enough action in order to have that health like other people are. It's that comparison game. As you've heard many times, I myself did not believe that I could have this health unless I did more. I actioned more. I created more. And I think that if we're missing that portion of it, if we don't feel that we deserve it or that we're not doing enough, then how can abundance enter your life when it comes to health? And to further that, and this is another talk, but we have a picture in our minds of what health looks like. Ladies, you'll understand this very clearly. And actually men too, especially recently, in recent years. But we have this picture of what we think health looks like. And that creates a certain sense of desperation because we don't look it. And when you're in a place of desperation for health, desperation for beauty, desperation for being thin, all of these things, what we're transmuting out into the universe is this feeling of lack. Whenever you want something so tightly, so hard that you death grip it, that is stemming from fear. And fear creates nothing but more reasons to be fearful. It creates nothing but more lack. So, I ask you, what would it look like for it to be easy? How could it be gentle and flowing? How could you be to have that health? Something my counselor told me, what if this cancer isn't here to teach you to be better, but instead just to be? That sentence will never, ever leave my mind. That was a pivoting point in my health. That is when I started to become healthy. Moving on to love and relationships. So when it comes to what you think you deserve in love and in your friendships and in your coworkers and the bosses you attract and every single relationship that you move through in a day, you mirror what you think you deserve. So if you are wondering what it is you think you deserve and where you are in your abundance progression, then look at your relationships. Look at your bank account. Look at your health. In regards to your relationships, are you being treated well? If not, consider, instead of complaining about it, which I understand is necessary at times so that you can speak your truth, so that you can get it all out. And then hopefully at that point realize that you've done what you needed to do in that well, and now you've moved to the next step, which is creating a better experience. But consider, instead of complaining, to instead ask yourself, what is it that I think I deserve? Because if I'm being treated poorly, I must on some level, a level I do not understand quite yet, I must on some level believe that I don't deserve better. And that is in regards to everyone. That is your boss, your romantic partner, your friend, your family, everything. If somebody is treating you poorly, it is because you, to some degree, allowed them to do so. And I'm not talking about the initial, because the initial is completely out of your control. But the way that you reacted to that person perpetuated that relationship to be this or that. So again, if you're wanting abundance in your love and relationships, a feeling of complete fullness and a full heart, fill your own cup first. Put yourself first. Love yourself first. And I know that's cheesy, but it's true. It's so unbelievably true. When you stop allowing people to guide your life and you take control of your own life, and when you start saying no when you don't want to do something, and yes when you do, and I mean truly, genuinely, that is when people start to realize where they can and cannot go with you. And it has made such a huge difference for me in my life and my relationships. I used to believe that I was a doormat because I'm too nice. Nice has got nothing to do with it. It's okay to be nice. It's great to be nice. However, I was nice from a place of lack, as opposed to nice from a place of open giving with an abundance mindset. I wanted to be liked, so I was nice. And what ended up happening for me was that I had a small group of friends who treated me so-so. Since I changed my mindset around love and relationships, I've done nothing but grow. I've done nothing but have the most amazing connections and relationships. And that was because there was a power in me that said, no, I will put myself and my self-love first. And I owe that very much to my disease. So, this is all well and good, Christine. We can talk about wealth, we can talk about health and love and relationships. We didn't even touch on career. And that's all very interesting, but how do I do it? And there's quite a few different ways. Now, for me, a huge one that I've connected to is gratitude. Gratitude feels so abundant. It fills me up. Everything in life has something to be grateful for. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And when you create gratitude, that's the highest vibration that you can cast, is gratitude. A gratefulness for what you have, and a gratefulness for what you will have. Something that I learned years ago that meant a lot to me was they said we live in a quantum universe, which I believe. And in that quantum universe, we already have all of the circumstances, all of the paths in life, all of the consequences to all of our actions all exist on different playing fields. So if you want money, that exists for you. It has already happened on a quantum level. It's just whether or not you choose the path. And if you choose a different path, you will go down a different quantum level and you will get a different circumstance. I love that. So when they say being grateful for what you already have, when I first learned this, I felt like, oh, that's so fake though. I don't have money. I can't say thank you for the money. That seems so fake. But what it is that when you are saying thank you are saying thank you for the quantum dimension that does have the money or whatever outcome it is that you want. You are being grateful for what it is and thus aligning yourself with the goal. Because if you cannot find your goal, then there is something blocking you. And the simple act of being grateful for what you do already have and for what you will have in a present sense, the only purpose of that is to help align you on a subconscious level with your goal so that that can then be created. So actively saying yes is another great way to get abundance. And I don't mean saying yes to whether or not somebody would like you to do something. If you listen to my last podcast, we debunked that. I'm instead talking about actively saying yes to what you want. And this is a practice. So practicing saying thank you, gratitude for the donation that I received in the GoFundMe, and practicing being okay with it, practicing settling in and saying yes to that donation. So by looking at that installment and saying, yes, I deserve this. Yes, I will utilize this in a way that is expansion for me and for others. Yes, always saying yes to the things that you truly want. Because we do this thing that we think is polite, where someone says, hey, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to help you put things together and we're going to work on stuff and we're going to organize stuff. And you say, no, I don't want to put you out. That is not actively saying yes. Not at all. And you cannot create more abundance from that place where you think that every single thing that you deserve is a problem for people. So actively saying yes and then just stopping there. Thank you. Moving on. Accept the thing. Finally, and most importantly, and I know this one's hard, but stop complaining with others to try to align with them. And what do I mean by that? I mean, so often we try our best to dim ourselves so that we can level with people. How's your job? Oh, it's shit. How's your job? Total shit. Let's talk about how much we hate our bosses. And I get it. It feels good. But it brings nothing but more of that crap into your life. And I know that it's scary to be abundant, because what if somebody doesn't like you because you have too much, or you're one of those, well, they have too much money. Circling back to that. And I think the long and short of it is that we go back to the 10 people. There's 10 people who have no expansion in their lives and who won't get there. So you dimming your light just so that those 10 people can like you, it's really not benefiting you. It really isn't. And yes, there'll be an adjustment period as you stop complaining, where people are kind of like, they can't connect with you because that's what you've always done. And I respect that and I get it. And it will be uncomfortable. People call me peppy, and I annoy a lot of people. I was once compared to Marmite, which, if you don't know it, it's an Australian thing. And I don't totally know the ingredients of it. I've heard a couple different things, but it's this extremely salty thing that you put on instead of peanut butter on your toast. And people either absolutely love it or they absolutely hate it. And I was once compared to Marmite. And I think that that's probably very, very true. I'm quite polarizing for some people. And because I am so positive. And that's okay. Because it took me years to get to the point where I was kind of like, you know what? All the complainers and all those people, they make me feel low. So no problem. I'm the enemy in somebody's story, and that's okay. It is okay to be the enemy in somebody's story. So if you offend somebody, that's fine. Because if truly abundance is what you want in your life, then when you get to the top of the crest of the mountain, the people that you would have cultivated are going to celebrate with you, as opposed to sitting at the bottom of the mountain sneering. So let's go over those one more time, because I'm running out of time. So when you want abundance in your life, how do you attract it? Number 1, gratitude. Most importantly, be grateful for what you have, what you will have, and every single universe that exists. Be grateful for it. 2, practicing allowing good things to come to you. When somebody offers, say yes. When somebody compliments, say thank you. And don't just go through the motions, but embody it. Truly thank them. Sit for a few seconds, breathe it in, be grateful. And finally, try to stop complaining. Don't just try, stop complaining. It's not benefiting you. And it's not bringing more abundance into your life. So I hope that this was educational and expansive. I hope that you've got a few nuggets from what we talked about today, and that you go out today, live your abundance, accept your abundance, draw from the pool that never runs dry, and live free. Thanks, you guys.